Hey there, Toonami faithful, and welcome back aboard Toonami Absolution, where we talk about the shows that made us us and the shows that made you you. Once again, we are your hosts. My name is Alex.
I'm Sam.
And I'm John. We're back with two more episodes of Bebop. Episode 17, Mushroom Samba, and episode 18, Speak Like a Child. Both of these October 28th, 2001 airing for their Adult Swim debut.
And it's an Ed episode. An Ed episode.
Yes.
I'm surprised they didn't use that as the joke in the next on.
It's an Ed episode with a train heist that also channels like blaxploitation movies. It's awesome.
It is.
It's awesome.
One of the most. This is a really fun, bizarre twofer of episodes, really.
It's so fun. The Bebop crew are hungry, and Ed, like the provider they are, goes out to get food.
Can we talk about how apparently they had zero food for 2 days by the time the episode starts? It's like, what is going on, guys? I know it's like a hard scrabble life, but good God.
They did have their backup rations, technically.
I did like the fact they had their rations don't last that long. That's a flawed backup ration.
And they expire. They're rations that expire make no sense.
I mean, true.
I'll finish that at some point.
Everything expires unless they're from the Civil War, which are still edible somehow.
Yeah.
Twinkies don't expire.
True.
Twinkies just generate life.
They do.
Yeah, Nuka-Cola, of course, famously lasts forever.
That'd be a really bad Fallout game. Get out of the vault, eat a ration, just immediately die of botulism.
I do admit, I feel like this episode informed my future use of shrooms because it was kind of a nightmare the first time I did it, and I feel all of the scenes here reminded me of that.
I think I had the Jet Black experience where I just kind of like keep sitting and observing the simple beauty of bonsai trees as I sit in my own pocket of reality.
Put lipstick
I was
on.
in the Spike place.
I
was in the Spike place, just like walking in place.
You were foreshadowing future episodes.
Yeah.
As you did. This episode is really clever. And I think it's funny because Mushroom Samba has kind of become the term for the drugs episode. But I think it doesn't get appreciated. I love how subtle this episode is. It doesn't go like, it's going to sound very weird to say, I love their drugged animation because it's how their body movement changes is very subtle. There's a lot of effort put in. They could have got away with just going full Yellow Submarine for 20 minutes and it would have been, okay, it's the drugs episode. But they do a lot with it to make it slightly unnerving, it feels more surreal than a lot of sort of 60s surrealism.
I also like when Ein gets them and just starts like
pops away.
That Ein
so cute.
Is one of my favorite bits of Bebop. For the specific reason is it is such a good visual gag, but it's so short. I think a lesser team would have run that joke into the ground and had Ein doing it the entire episode. And then have like stab at the cow. But here it's like this is one really funny shot. And that's it.
It's not, we covered Dead Zone on this show earlier, and there's an entire extended sequence of Gohan getting, high, eating fruit. And that they play that for a weird, bizarre psychedelic sequence. Here it's just you get little glimpses of everybody going through their stuff.
Yep. Faye ends up in the toilet again, which I like. That's becoming her recurring place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Faye in her toilet.
And I do like that Ed made the decision to just start drugging everyone.
Well, to be fair to Ed, he was repeating his test, so it was scientific.
Yes.
It's true.
Any character would not grasp the moral implications of potentially roofying their friends. It would probably be Radical Edward, right?
Yeah. He's curious. He has pure intentions. I want to bring up the Chicken Bone, the song they play when Ed and I'm looking for food. One of my favorite lesser known Bebop songs because it was on the second or third CD they did. It's such a good little song. It has a special place in my heart. It's like one of the first songs. Whenever I get a new instrument, it's one of the first songs I play on it because it's just like a really good test of dynamics.
What do we think of some of the kind of the ancillary characters that we only get for this episode?
I love them.
I love. It's really nice that we're nodding to the blaxploitation genre because it is an important part of talking about Western history. So, as you brought up earlier, the Coffee is based on the character of Coffee, which is a film Coffy, and
Yes.
the one bounty hunter we see is he says, "I one of the Shaft brothers," of course, referencing the cop show, and he carries on a coffin like the first Django.
Yeah.
Again, the Bebop crew know their stuff.
They do. If you can slip in Pam Grier and Richard Roundtree, you're doing all right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, anything we were kind of hinting at this last week, anything that involves a train heist is just like that much better. And the muscle cars, you get the 70s muscle cars during that too. It's a good time. It's a bop, as the children put it.
I love how that whole heist comes together as well. It's just so nicely constructed. Like the fact that she has a car that's like a ramp specifically so we can have Edward ramp off it and then have him deploy Ein. I kind of like the cow being there as well.
I love the cow. And Ein and the cow commiserating.
Yeah.
What I like, I think, what this episode really does well is it again hints that grander world outside of the Bebop, in that we're dropped into each of these guys' stories for a brief moment to find they've got a lot of stuff going on. Like the guy's trying to avenge his brothers. The Coffee's after this guy for reasons, we don't fully know. The cop is having an argument with his wife. Like, it's all really done together. It's really pulled together nicely, I think.
Well, yeah. There's this huge adventure, and Ed just happens to be our POV into all of it, just for a moment.
Sure.
Yeah.
A tiny. And Ed's good for that. I think that's why Ed works with the Bebop crew. He's a really good way of getting other characters into place to talk.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. I also like the ending where it's just regular ass mushrooms for the rest of forever for the Bebop crew. Yay.
But hey, it's better than nothing by like a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Jet in that as well. How Jet approaches will just be happy.
Yeah.
I love Jet the pragmatist. He's a really nice dynamic of him as someone like
Yeah. He figured out different ways to serve it. I like mushrooms over ice.
Yes.
Nice
mushrooms over ice is the best one.
Nice chilled mushroom.
And that's a very Jet kind of way to look at things. It's like, hey, we didn't have anything for 2 days. Spike.
Yeah, I think it hints to where he's come from. It's the idea that what I love about Jet and Spike is how realistically poor they are.
Yeah.
Like, Jet totally has that thing of like, because you can clearly tell he's not trying to lie to Spike in that moment. He's like, yeah, okay, this is crap, but we have food. Be happy about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, it would be Faye would be the one that would complain the most about it.
I mean, yeah.
Then again, she spent time in the toilet seeing the fish, so she gets some.
Yeah. Everybody gets like I said, everybody gets their own little psychedelic odyssey. Everybody
was not having the best trip of their life. Though Jet seemed pretty good. Jet seemed like he was having a good time.
Like I say, Jets is the one where it's like, okay, yeah, I've done that. Where it's just kind of like you just, oh, these are lovely bonsai trees. Just kind of
tell me the secrets of the universe, bonsai tree.
Yeah.
They're all whispering to him, "Try on lipstick."
Yeah. One of my favorite when Paul McCartney was the last Beatle to drop acid. And
that's a great name for something.
Yeah.
I'd read that book.
Yeah. Anthology 5. But he said that of all the one thing he could remember is from that trip, that inciting trip, was the secret to life is that there are 7 levels. 7 levels of what? We don't know.
Life is Mario 3.
Life is Mario 3.
Ringo,
isn't there 8 worlds in Mario 3?
I don't know.
Or is it 9?
I was racking my brain for a game with 8 levels. I couldn't think of what. I was like, Mario 3.
I always use the magic flute. I never do the entire thing top to bottom.
I'm distracted by Luigi and his amazing thighs. I just think Ringo
Like a flutter kick.
I think Ringo's in there the whole time, rocking back and forth, going, "Thomas the Tank Engine can't hurt you. Thomas the Tank Engine can't hurt you. Thomas the Tank Engine can't hurt you."
Uh,
Oh,
Uh,
Tank.
but then after we have our Mushroom Samba, we have
we
we
have
have some more
Faye.
face.
Faye
We have
getting it
Faye stuff.
even worse.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot this episode is a kick right in the teeth.
Right at the
No,
end.
my parlay.
Right at the end. Right at the end.
Oh,
You know, up until then, it's another goofy episode, right? I love the shopkeeper's face when Spike breaks the VCR or whatever. Just like
The Betamax player.
yeah, he doesn't say anything in that moment. You just see his eyes practically bulging out of his skull as Spike is stomping this machine to get it to work.
And not stopping, like not even trying. Even though Jet's like, "Hey, maybe you should stop."
Yeah,
Like,
Spike, watch it.
my favorite thing is to cut to the next scene. Spike's like, "My shit works better when I kick it." Like,
Yeah.
oh, it's so funny.
Yeah,
it's
a
called
funny
percussive
episode
maintenance.
until that very end. Like that's a turnaround punch that you really don't see coming emotionally. And I also love it says I mean Spike calls him out on it too. It's Jet just wants to solve it's a puzzle for Jet to solve.
Yeah.
And I love that it's like I know I'm not going to get anything out of this outside of my own satisfaction. And I love that about that character where it's just like, "Hey, I want to see what's on this tape."
I
All
mean,
right.
it relates to him being like on the force. His nickname was like is the Black Dog, I think.
Yes, because
Where
yeah, we
he
did the Black Dog Serenade. Yeah.
and once he gets his jaws into something, he never lets go. Um, I love how multi-layered that little cheer baby Faye does at the end. I also love that her name is never mentioned either. Like I like that because a lesser series would have used that moment to give Faye her quote unquote real name. You know?
Yeah. That cheer, I kind of hate it because it is just so well done. You go, oh, you have. It's one of those things when you see it, you go, I have to live up to that whenever I write something, and I don't think I ever can. How that line is delivered is just so you absolute bastards for raising the bar to such an unreachable level.
Just the go me thing. Don't lose me.
It's like,
Like, and you
Don't
can
Lose Me is a great line.
and
don't lose me.
Again, how it's delivered. The voice actress that scene does in both Japan and the US does an amazing job because again, a lesser series would have really hammered the me to make it one sentence. She keeps the comma in there, so it is said in a way that kid would say that sentence naturally. It doesn't feel forced because that is how you would structure that in a way that makes sense, and we have her leave the gap.
And I love the found footage vibe every time they get like a little snippet of what they're looking at. For it, I don't know why, but for some reason, the way the footage looks makes me think of Higurashi when they cry. Like it feels like something you would see in a horror series, and then it just becomes very sad.
Yeah, yeah. It's you expect Sadako to come out of like a well. But the tracking lines save you. So it's fine.
I think it's also just how well observed Faye's room is for a little girl's room. It is that level of being very on the nose, but not dramatically on the nose. Like you see that she has different interests, how she focuses the cam. They did something really interesting in that footage is that it's very sloppily shot. It's animated in a way that makes it look sloppily shot, which makes perfect sense. It's a what is she here? 12-year-old operating a camera that probably isn't hers. It's probably taken from her father or their parents. It is, how when she's swinging around the room while talking, that's totally how a kid would film a video they're unsure about, just sort of focusing on all the things they think are interesting. It's not like framed well. Oh, there are so many like little touches there. I find it really funny that Mushroom Samba ends with the next one, where Spike is like, "Oh, the next episode is pointless. It goes nowhere. Maybe you'll read something into it, but it's pointless." And that is also a gut punch because he's right. It goes nowhere. Faye gets just close enough, but it's snatched away.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing I like about it too, again, in a lesser series, the other characters would have commented on it. There would have been time after the end of the video, and this cuts it off. It's we see what happened, we see the video, and then that's it. We don't get to see the reaction. We have to imagine what that is, and I really like that a lot.
And I also think there's that lovely thing again. We have that when Spike comes back to the Bebop and Jet's like just doesn't comment on it. And it's that same silent recognition they all have for each other. Like Jet isn't gonna tell Faye, "Hey, this is you." Yeah. He's like, she's not gonna talk to me, so I'm gonna just let it happen. One thing I kind of like about this episode, and maybe this is me reading into things a little bit too much, I like how child coded this entire episode is. Like, we start with Jet doing the fairy tale. The story Jet tells is a real tale called the Urashima Taro, first recorded in the 8th century. Basically, guy rescues a turtle, takes him to the Dragon Temple. Where there he meets a princess, they have a nice party, maybe sire a child, depending which version you read. And after the evening, that was a lovely evening, I'm going to go home. When he goes home, he finds actually it's been 100 years. When he opens the box the turtle gave him, he immediately turns into either an old man or a crane, depending which version. Which is basically this, they have this box, they go hunting for it, and Faye spiritually becomes older from opening this box. Which also is my favorite little visual. It's partially a visual gag in this film, but in this episode, look at the 2 drones that deliver the package. You have a tortoise and a hare. Yeah. Which is nice. And I also just like how, if you look at how the interior of the museum is organized and how Spike and Jet, it's like a playground. Like, we see them climbing and sliding. It's very child coded. So it does really fit with Faye going back. And also, what I spotted for the first time in this episode is when, after Faye does her dog tracking, she's drinking from a
juice box.
Yes. I went back and looked. She hasn't. That's not a common thing in Bebop. But it feels like a very deliberate thing of, like, Faye having to clash with her lost child self and not knowing what to do. Spike and Jet having to sort of effectively regress to go through this play space and find this stuff. And then again, you have the video guy who's trapped in the past in the exact same way. Ironic, I'm saying that on this podcast. I'm relevant. I don't care about Betamax. I promise.
Betamax is fine. My dad had a Betamax player.
Hey, anybody who's smart got behind Betamax. It had way higher fidelity.
No, it was only the first version. That wasn't later versions.
True, it's something with like Blu-ray and difference between Blu-ray and HD DVD back in the day.
So if you want a fun fact about this episode, they do get some of the facts about Betamax wrong.
Oh, so because Weasley guy's wrong.
Well, like, because Faye's, when the video would have been taken Faye, it wouldn't have been Betamax and a home camera. It would have been like another format, which used similar size tapes, but it's different.
Oh, yeah.
Because Beta didn't record onto home cameras.
Yeah. Oh, I know the camera you're talking about. My parents had that camera.
Yeah, but it wouldn't play in a Betamax player.
No.
No.
To be fair, you brush over all of these problems by saying Ed.
Yeah.
Ed is just that good.
Best.
Like the episodes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but I do find this episode goofy, not on the same level as like Mushroom Samba, but yeah, once they get that tape working and they find what's at the end of that the buried treasure, the pot of gold at the end of that rainbow, it's never quite the same for Ms. Valentine. Especially coming from last week's episode, right?
It's almost like it almost feels like a loss of innocence narrative, but in such a external way that it makes it extremely interesting as a loss of innocence narrative, right? Like, because in a way, Faye knows nothing. Faye knows so little about herself and about the world around her that is extremely childlike. And when confronted with this reality that she was a different person who had friends, who had a family, had people who loved and cared about her, and not only can she not remember them, those people are almost definitely all dead now.
Yeah, or significantly older, like I guess even yeah, because she was in cryosleep for what, 54 years?
Yeah.
So yeah, they're significantly older at best,
Yeah.
which is she's the lady out of time, but not Captain America in this case.
Yeah.
I also kind of like how this episode parallels to what we saw with the two First Nationers.
Hmm.
There was this idea of keeping history, which comes through Bebop a lot. How objects keep history. So we have those guys with that oral history who will, and even the guys who are going through the Red Dragon, you see that of them a lot. They have this very big mythos they pass down seemingly orally. We never see sort of any of it written down. You have to go to one of the elders. And here Faye is like, she's in the modern world without that oral history. There are still these things keeping memory for her. And again, same with the video guy, him being lost in the past. He has more access to these memories now because they are physically recorded, but he still can't fully connect with them.
Yeah.
No, there'll always be the degree of separation, and but at the same time, he's more at home with other people's memories than he is with living, breathing people right in front of him.
Yeah.
I would love to get a GIF of just like there's a couple panning shots of Jet just like bored staring at him as he's like explaining everything. I love that shot. They're clearly bored out of their mind while this guy's like regaling them about all these like technical facts and magnetic tape and everything, and he's just kind of like he could care less in that moment.
Now I know how you two look when I'm talking about Transformers.
I love how that contrasts with the later bit of the episode as well, because you can actually literally see the moment Jet's face lights up when he sort of gets into the mission a little bit. Like he's having a whale at the time in the museum. He's like, yeah, I've got all my kit. I'm going around. And you can literally see the moment where he goes from, oh, this is just points to, oh, adventure, mystery to solve.
Yeah. I haven't solved a case like this since I was on the Force, Spike.
Having good times. And Spike is just so along for the ride because there's clearly nothing else going on. And
Yeah.
Spike just doesn't know what else to do with his time.
Yeah, he doesn't want to just sit around and smoke cigarettes on the Bebop.
Because he doesn't have any anymore.
Yeah.
He's out of cigarettes. He had to go on a cigarette run.
Yeah.
But
were the cigarettes ever edited in the Toonami broadcast, or were they just like cigarettes?
Not that I could find. I would presume they must have been at some point, but I think Bebop was. I would have to look more into that. The episodes I've seen from TV rips don't have them removed. To be fair, Bebop was always shown late at night, so I think smoke. Because Americans, you don't censor like old movies when people smoke past the watershed.
No,
right?
But remember when they censored the JoJo episodes?
Yeah, they did censor the JoJo episodes.
True.
Yeah.
I can't confirm or deny.
And the JoJo censoring is so bad. Like,
it's just all they do is just darken the silhouette.
They darken the silhouette.
Clearly still a smoking cylinder sticking out of their mouth.
Well, the One Piece censorship was giving Sanji a lollipop.
Yeah,
which is funny as well.
What was the One Piece censorship where they had like the hammer gun pointed?
Oh, yeah, I remember. I can't
Yeah.
remember what episode it is, but I've got that episode somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, in Yu-Gi-Oh, they edit out all the guns and make it just that they're all getting pointed at.
Oh, that's my favorite anime. It's a psychosomatic gun.
Yeah.
Don't make me kill you with my invisible gun.
Yeah, the implication of gun.
It reminds me of like a Phineas and Ferb episode. I could totally see that being a thing of, aha, the social contract says you must freeze.
Yeah, yeah. No, that was always something because I didn't watch too much Bebop. Some of my friends had it on DVD. I didn't watch a lot of Bebop when it first aired on TV because it aired so late. It was Midnight Run, or at least the precursor to Midnight Run. And it was just like, oh, well, I'm in middle school, guys. I can't really, or I guess if it's where first year of high school, guys, I can't really, I'm doing stuff.
Can't empathize with Jet's melancholy.
Yeah.
See, that's where our lives differ because my parents are both insomniacs and so am I. So me being up late in middle school, my dad was usually up with me.
Well, that's my lifestyle now, certainly. But back then it was like, we had school started at 7:20 for us.
Yeah.
So that means, and I walked to school, which meant I would have to wake up at 5:45, leave home around 6:30, and I would get to school around 7.
That's a long walk for a kid.
It was a little over a mile.
So
Was it all uphill?
uphill both ways.
Yeah, yeah. It
consult-
bounces. Yeah.
So consulting my list of Bebop censorship, which may not be 100% accurate, is what I've cobbled together. I can't find any mention of a cigarette ever being removed. Lots of removals are breast and some swearing, but not cigarettes. Maybe because it was just later. I think the thing with Bebop is Bebop was probably past the point where you could even try and justify it as a children's show, so it probably got away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next week, we have Perot LeFou.
Oh, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, me too.
I think one of the. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was quickly fun. That's only for 2002, 2001, 2002 released, but 2017 it wasn't censored at all. Because by the time 2017 came around, Adult Swim had kind of just accepted that it was a block for grown-ups, and the FCC is just like, yeah.
One thing I do want to talk about a little bit with this episode is I love the shift that Faye takes from horse races to dog races because of the different way that they work. Because when you look at a horse race is a lot more collaborative between the rider and the horse. With dog races, it's pure instinct of chasing something that they're never going to be able to catch. Like a horse race has a real goal. A dog race is really just about these dogs doing something that they will never be able to achieve from, and I like the juxtaposition of that futility.
You could also make an argument that what dog racing is what are they chasing? They're chasing a stuffed toy.
Yeah.
And who do we give stuffed toys to?
Children.
Yeah. Or a rabbit in some cases, I suppose. But yeah, usually
I don't think they use a real rabbit anymore. This isn't Pokemon.
Yeah. But it is Cowboy Bebop. Who knows? Archaic is the name of the game.
I remember when my grandfather took me to my first dog race. I think I was like 5.
I've never actually been to a dog race. I've never been to a horse race.
Really? Oh, I went all the time when I was a kid with my grandpa.
No. We just kept it to table games.
You could race a horse on a table.
Yeah.
Won't last long.
But a pencil must be lead.
Dog racing is also. I'm not sure if there's a thing. Is dog racing grimier than horse racing? That's always the thing in the UK. Like if the Greyhound track is the place where the men with lots of cigarettes and fists with tattoos saying things like "kill" on them tend to hang out.
So in my experience, like the Saratoga racetrack is in New York and all that, I don't remember it being like in America, like people bring their kids to the dog track. Like
okay,
I don't remember it being any particularly sketchy or scary. And my grandfather, God bless him, he wouldn't have brought me if it was.
That's fair. It's funny in the UK, like horse racing, you have like Ascot and all the fancy events. But if you're like, oh, I lost money dog racing, it tends to be like you're about to lose your kidneys to the Albanian mafia kind of deal. Like dog racing is the desperation sport.
Interesting.
Weird. The weird culture around animal racing. But corky racing is fun for everybody.
I've watched it. They're so cute. They're little red nose.
It's great.
They have to bounce.
They have to bounce like I'm.
No, well, he couldn't enter. He'd be flagged for doping.
Yeah, he would be flagged for doping.
Literally,
because of all the shrooms.
Yeah.
Isaac, how did you take steroids, Ian?
Yeah.
Jet's just like, we're gonna have to arrest the dog. But we are coming close to the end, I believe.
We are, yes.
That means that it's time for some final thoughts.
I mean, they're good. It's good, goofy fun. A lot of crack, as they would say in the Emerald Isle. Good crack, but it's a quite the gut punch coming at the end of Speak Like a Child, and we're kind of. I feel like we're more or less serious for the rest of the run. I feel like it's like we're in the home stretch now. You have to deal with like a crazy clown experiment thing, but
that's just life.
Yeah, of course. But this is kind of our last little bit of enjoy the whimsy while it lasts.
Yeah, these are again. I've said so much, but Bebop is just so good at doing what it does. Like, these 2 episodes could have been. Mushroom Samba could have been just terrible, stupid drug slapstick, and Speak Like a Child could have been maudlin crap. But both of them, they pulled them off expertly Bebop is hilariously, for a show as bombastic as Bebop, one of its biggest strengths is its restraint.
Yeah.
It knows when to pull back and it knows when to just let the audience. We don't have to tell the audience the plot. The audience can work it out themselves. And I think, that's it. These episodes are great. I would really recommend Speak Like a Child. I don't think it gets as much attention as the other ones, but how they string that final section together is a masterclass. From everything from the shot choice to how they sort of approach the dialogue, it's so well done to set you up to just lead the audience into this horrible corner and then hit you as hard as physically possible.
Yeah, we talk about it a lot. Bebop is a masterpiece. Like that's not an argument here. I do think that Speak Like a Child deserves a lot more attention than it gets from the wider fandom around this show, because it really is a masterpiece when it comes to creating this kind of disassociated narrative. And I really like that. And I love Mushroom Samba. I love how stylish it is. I love that the music changes up because it's an Edward episode. I like the mushroom parts of it. There's a lot to love in these episodes because there's a lot to love in Bebop. I think that the worst episode of Bebop is still better than the best episodes of a lot of other series, and that is quite the hurdle to clear. But that does mean that we have pulled into our final destination. That's right, it is time for us to disembark from Toonami Absolution. We want to thank you once again for joining us and talking about the shows that made us us and the shows that made you you. We have been your hosts. My name is Alyx.
I'm Sam.
And I'm John.
And we'll see you next time. Bang.